healed the weighed-down woman in Lesson 6 in spite of the synagogue ruler's condemnation. I think the synagogue ruler was just as weighed down and burdened as this poor woman was that Jesus healed. And when Jesus left that day, the ruler was still in that condition, whereas she was standing tall and free. We need to make sure that we are not like that synagogue ruler. People today weigh themselves down with burdens and regulations that God never intended for them to carry. I saw this vividly on a recent trip to Israel. We arrived in Jerusalem on a Friday, and that night the Jews were celebrating their Sabbath. They call it Shabbat. And it was also Pentecost, so this was even a more sacred day. Now, the best place to see the celebration is at the Wailing Wall. It's located in the old city of Jerusalem at the foot of the western side of the Temple Mount. It's a remnant of the ancient wall that surrounded Herod's temple courtyard, and Jews believe that here at this wall is the most sacred place, the place that today they can be closest to God, because it's the closest they can get to the Holy of Holies, the ancient Holy of Holies in the ancient temple. Well, after a brisk walk from the hotel, we arrived at the plaza that faced the wall, and it was filled. I bet there were 3,000 Jews there, many of them Hasidic Jews in the tall black hats and the curls at the side of their cheek. We wanted to experience praying with them there at the Wailing Wall. Now, our group had to divide up by gender because a partition divides the wall into the men's section and the women's section. And I led a group of about 20 women, mainly because I had been there before. But before we dove into this river of humanity going toward the wall, I remembered a practice, a custom of writing your prayer requests on a slip of paper and folding it up and placing that prayer into the crevices of the Wailing Wall. I explained that practice to the women there, and they all got out pencil and paper and started feverishly writing prayer requests. Well, as they were writing, suddenly a Hasidic gentleman ran up to us, waving his arms, shouting, "No Shabbat! No Shabbat!" We weren't sure what he was talking about. He ran off to find a Jewish woman. A young woman came and she explained to us that we were breaking the Sabbath. She said, you can go out to an exit and write your prayer request there if you want to and bring it back in, but God will hear it just the same if you speak it. She was very kind. As she walked away, some of the women continued writing. Others put their crumpled paper into their purses. After we made our way to the wall, we spent some time in fervent prayer. It was precious to pray there and put our hand against that wall of the ancient temple. We inserted our prayer slips into the crevice, and afterward we gathered in the courtyard to consider the experience. We have so much in common with these Jews. We both love God the Father fervently, but we're also quite different. We love Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah, and they don't. And as a result, we enjoy a freedom and an assurance that they cannot fathom. We tried to remain respectful in our dialogue about their strict adherence to a myriad of all these rules and laws. But some of them seem so silly, like you can wear yourself out walking on the Sabbath, but you can't ride in a car because it's work, just like riding is work. We snickered under our breath. All of these people reminded us so much of that synagogue ruler who was probably running up to Jesus shouting, "No Shabbat! No Shabbat! You can't heal her on the Sabbath." That night I lay awake thinking, I'm so grateful I'm not shackled with this legalism, that I'm not weighed down with the law. But I lay there praying for these wonderful, devout people that I can't help but love and respect. I pray they'll find a way to eliminate these endless rituals and laws and regulations. I pray for them that they will find Yeshua HaMashiach, because He alone will lift their weighed down lives and give them the peace that He gave this dear woman some 2,000 years ago.